So, Pastor Moen, I hate to just put you on the spot here, but I noticed that you weren't really around the church.
I'm on the spot.
You weren't around the church a whole lot this week. Where were you?
I was at Dubuque at the Theological Education Fund program.
Right. I won't tell the session about that. Okay.
Oh, I'm not worried about it because I have proof. I have pictures. See, I'm right here. I know it's hard. Usually my white hair stands out, but in this crowd, I just blend right in.
It's true. It's true.
This is on the campus of Dubuque Seminary.
So, Theological Education Fund, that's kind of some big words. I don't know what that means. What were you doing?
Okay, we'll do it your version. Theological.
Yeah. Okay. Theological Educational Fund. What is it?
Well, really, it's a network of volunteers throughout the Presbyterian Church USA who raises funds to support our seminaries. In fact, you might be surprised, it is the only single source funding that comes from our denomination to support our seminaries, and it probably provides less than 1% of the cost of a theological education at a seminary. And so every year we gather together to kind of brainstorm and think about how we can encourage churches to participate in what's called the 1% fund. 1% of the operating budget is donated to Theological Education Fund to help students keep the cost of their seminary education down.
Okay, so how do we participate?
We actually participate on a yearly basis by donating $1,000 from our mission fund to support seminaries throughout the country. We have 10 seminaries, and part of the representation part is I get to go visit these seminaries and meet students and talk to professors, and we have 10 exceptionally good seminaries with a lot of bright students. In fact, the highlight of the whole weekend was the last morning when we sat and listened to 8 young seminary students fresh out of, who are getting ready, some of them ready to graduate in 2 weeks. And we'd been talking about the hardships because donations have been going down as churches going smaller. Donations have been going down, and we've been supporting the seminaries less and less, and we were kind of lamenting about how things were. And one of the young students from Columbia stood up at the last minute. He says, "Before we leave, I'd like to push back a little bit. So I'd like to tell you that as students at our seminaries, we're excited about the future of this church. We don't think it's as bad as you all do. And we're excited to graduate. We're excited to go out there. We see these opportunities, and we're going to go out there. We think that God's going to do wonderful things in the PCUSA." And it was kind of a nice jab of, or injection of enthusiasm that us older people kind of needed to hear. So it was a wonderful experience.
So have we been participating for a long time?
We've been pretty much participating since the inception of the fund, which I think is about 20 years old now. This past year, we reached the total of $50 million donated to seminaries. Now, you might think that sounds like a lot, but still, we are only contributing less than 1% to any seminary, individual seminary, of their operating budget. So we're just, but it happens also to be the largest donation that they get as far as undesignated. It's really a good project. And one last thing. I'm not supposed to talk now?
Yeah, go ahead. You're way off anyways. Go ahead.
If you get started, we talk about it. I had a really great week there, but we talked about the why of why is having a seminary trained person important for churches. And one of the young people stood up. We were talking about it after that as we were getting ready to leave on Friday morning. And the young person said, "Well, you know, theological education is important because God's important. And don't we want to have the best trained people to help others learn more about God? And if God is important, education is important." And that's why Presbyterians have always been strong on Christian education. Anything else?
No, I was just going to ask you, is there anything else you want to say?
Well, I could continue, but I know we've got other things to do.